Hi everyone, we are reporting live from SP 64 Day 2, and the Energy Working Group is here. Today we have Kim, who's joining in for the first time, and we have Shraddha as well, and we have Saikit, who is one of the CPs of the Energy Working Group, and we have me. So we can start with which negotiations we followed today and what are our upcoming events. So first one, who would like to go?
Well, first of all, in energy today we had some of the good negotiations. We are looking for also just transition mechanism, which was very important for finding a way of the TOR, which is terms of referencing, for how to connect the mechanism and the implementation as well. We also had the mitigation work program because everyone was waiting how we have to increase the mitigation work program extensions from 2026 because it's 2020. The mitigation work program was from 2023 to 2026, and right now they are trying to find the modalities and exactly what are the digital platforms and any other involved criterias that has been needed for the extension of mitigation work program. Um, for the most important part was civil societies had a open dialogue with the both the presidency, with presidency Quorum and presidency Chris Boyne. So Chris Boyne is the presidency for negotiations, and Quorum is the presidency for the designated COP this year. And both of them had clearly mentioned that all the civil societies will be mentioned and will be designated properly in the entire scenario, of COP processes, right from the sketch. That means it's not just giving them a space, but also providing them a proper voice on the table, right? Most of the civil societies talked about what are the action agendas and how they have the plan to implement those action agendas. We have the six axes, which is like one of few of them, like the sustainable energy. We have the zero waste as well. So those are also the part that has been discussed previously in the Mutirao decisions, and they have actually found a way towards COP 31, few of them. So this is what we are looking, that how they are planning to put those action agendas into the negotiation track as well. Electrification is one of the most pressing civil societies point, where they want energy access to everyone, increasing the electrification. I think yesterday we had a really good session with the IRENA and E3C and GRA as well, where the presidency came and they said that electrification must be done. Irina said that 23% right now has been electrified, and they are targeting for 65% by 2035 as well, which is huge number for this electrification. We all know that more than 700 million are right now without energy. So this is very pressing, that how to move ahead, just not scaling up, but scaling up in a justified way. I think we can move ahead with the CTCN.
Yes, so Climate Technology Center and Network, we had one negotiation on SBI 12B, linkages in tech and finance mechanism. Very specific one, and I'm following this for the first time. Not too hard to follow, but very relevant for energy. So we had interventions from different countries, Chile, Saudi Arabia, and European Union, Japan. And today they just talked about the text, what to bracket out, what to bracket in. And majorly, one common point from Japan and European Union was that they wanted some text, some paragraph to be bracketed out because they did not support that paragraph, which was it was around both of them supported the idea that we should do the assessment annually and there should not be a separate budget allocated for more assessments outside of the current reform. So that is what they discussed today. And the conclusion text for today's meeting is not out yet. So we'll be maybe updating on it tomorrow if we have this on the agenda tomorrow. And then we also had a side event um, on the Santa Marta CAF conference. We had delegates from the official delegates from the Netherlands and Colombia and University of Leeds people. So Shraddha and both of us attended it, and both of us can talk about it. Um, so You can also chip in here. Yes.
Yeah, I think I was following a couple of things today, and like Dimple mentioned, Santa Marta was definitely one of them. I think the key takeaway there was there's a huge gap between ambition and action in terms of transitioning away from fossil fuels, and key non-member stakeholders, their chipping in is like a huge factor as well. So that was something that was definitely discussed during Santa Marta's side event.
Yeah, and one thing I can also add is there was a question, some question which triggered a response that, okay, this Santa Marta conference is something outside of the UNFCCC conference. And as we saw in the plenary, some of the countries were very direct in mentioning that, okay, we respect the UNFCCC processes, but something which is happening outside, let's limit it to UNFCCC. So some of those concerns come up in terms of Santa Marta.
Mhm.
So one of the speakers, I couldn't see who it was because of all the people sitting in front, but they mentioned that, okay, it's okay if you feel that way, but let's discuss here now this way, which was a very good response. So in a side event, let's have the delegates here and to discuss this. So a smart way to have this event. And what else did we follow today?
Anyone
Yeah.
wants to add?
I was also following the NDC implementation. That was quite big of a hassle because again the main theory there was that there is a gap between how it's being implemented. There are a lot of and because it happens every 5 years, and all countries we had delegates from Zambia, Jamaica, and Peru there, and also the 2050 pathway lead. She was the one who was chairing the whole session, and we had discussion around how we can close the gap between what is actually in the NDC implementation plan and what is the actual plan outcome that's happening. So bridging that bridging that gap is something that was discussed quite eagerly, and I was there till the point where the delegate from Peru was explaining they have an entire GHG inventory now, and how they're also linking their implementation plan to carbon markets. So there was an interesting take on how Peru is dealing with their NDC implementation plan. So that was something nice.
I was attending the same event. So.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, we also ate some frozen yogurt today. So that is an important one.
anyone?
I attended the same, the GS.
Yeah, the GST. Yes, yes.
Yes.
So the most important is the GST for energy specifically. The global stock take 1.0 is one of the pressing ish situation right now because the modalities still now are being discussion and also the implementations. The implementation is also needed as the UA consensus dialogue. The UA dialogue is still undergoing the review process, right? And that dialogue is directly related to the GST process. Sometimes we still see that UAE consensus is separate because it comes under the just transition work program and other dialogues. But this work program is also a part of the GST because the UAE dialogue is under the review process, which should be an annual dialogue, and it has not been done yet till now, right? So today the recent discussion was surrounding the global stocktake 1 and 2 implementations, and highlighted significant challenges and barriers implementing climate mitigation strategies, particularly for developing countries. So their concerned rise includes the lack of adequate, predictable, accessible finance supports from developed nations, and which essentially enabling ambitious climate action. Basically. So countries like Egypt, Philippines emphasize the need of substantial investments, which the need for climate target is not been met. With Egypt citing the requirement of 9 billion for grid upgrades and also the battery storage to achieve the clean energy transition. There was also the talk between the capital and limited access to technology, which is also going on for since I think 2 3 years, same in the same way, particularly for the Africa and the small developing states. Overall, the dialogue was relevant for consensus, but the needs for transformative actions are still needed. There was two breakout room, and both of the breakout room spoke either with the same language that there is a need of proper process implementation, and also how we can move ahead with the participation, which would underscore the importance of international corporations and need for just transition away from fossil fuels. Tomorrow we will have the incorporation of international corporations as well, and Yongo we will provide a proper intervention. We have been asked to give our 2 cents on what we want as a constituency. So we will provide our involvements in terms of how we will move ahead with global stock take implementations and what is lagging and what we need as a youth, children, and youth. So this is what happened. Stay tuned with us for the next day, which is tomorrow, day 2. And until then, if you have any queries or anyone on the ground wants to say hi, we are here together. And if you want to connect with us, we are right now, any social media you're seeing us, you can just type hi or message us or email, and in the from the website you can also connect us directly. But till then, stay touch, and I'll see you tomorrow. Saikar Das reporting live from Bonn.
This was our energy working group 2.